Lizzy, it's great to have you back on Stand With Us TV.
It's great to be back, and I get to join you from the Holy Land where you are.
Amazing. And I'm going to start by asking you the obvious question. You're in Israel with all your family. Why now?
Well, it only seems appropriate. The last time we were here together as a family was on October 7th. My kids at this point think that, we only go to Israel during wartime. So, I mean, we've been in a war, but obviously we're under surmounting threats right now. Um, And, I love this place more than anywhere else in the world. And there's no place I'd rather be. And if anything, it just makes me want to be here more when we're under threat and attack.
And I know you've been out and about. So, how have you found
Yeah.
Israelis to be at this difficult time?
Israelis amaze me. I have never seen such a spirit. I don't think it exists anywhere else in the world where you love your land and your people so much that no amount of fear can overwhelm that. It's wild. Like everyone is just out and about, going about their business. And I think it's amazing. You see why Israel is one of the happiest countries in the world. If they can be happy now, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, poll after poll tends to show that one of the happiest countries in the world. And you, as you mentioned, you were with us filming
Yeah.
educational videos here in Israel on October the 6th. It was up until that point a wonderful Sukkot. It seems like a different era. We're now 10 months on from then. So, what's life been like since?
It's so crazy because I was just with our tour guide who works for Stand With Us, Yoni. And Yoni, we were together on October 6th. And I remember getting an email from him just a few days into the war, of him in his uniform with his gun. And it was like this realization of everyone stops their lives, everyone stops their careers and focuses on what we have to do for our people and our homeland. And I was just with Yoni, everything came full circle. I was just with Yoni 2 days ago, in Tel Aviv touring again. And it's just, we talked about how this has been it's almost like we've been stuck in this moment. Like I saw him on October 6th, and then I now see him 10 months later, and it's like time hasn't passed really at all, in the sense that we're still fighting this vicious terrorism and our lives are still on hold to a large degree. But we've aged significantly. I have a lot more gray hair than I had when I was here on October 7th. But yeah, my whole life has been turned upside down, like all of us. And I'm just grateful that I am able to use my voice and my platform to feel like I can be of service and be purposeful during this absolutely horrendous time.
And so, you're here now 10 months on. What will you take home from this particular trip to Israel?
This trip was motivated because I wanted to bring my family back here. I didn't want their last impression of Israel to be the bomb shelter on October 7th, because we had had such a beautiful, amazing holiday here, experience with you guys here. And, that was really what, when we think of Israel, what we were thinking of was, leaving on October 8th. And it was so tragic and so hard. And so when we came back now, it wasn't about taking a luxurious vacation. Of course, it's amazing to be in Israel anytime, and it's beautiful here. And we've really enjoyed ourselves eating our way through and the beach and everything. But mostly what we've done is um, is figure out how we can help. We've been uh, we've been all over the place. We were at an orphanage in Netanya. We visited Schneider Children's Hospital, visited some sick kids there, because I want my kids and all of us to really understand that even though we are a country in crisis, there are still people that are suffering, that were suffering before, during, and will be after the war. And we can't forget about them as well. And it's just been so meaningful to be able to share this experience with my family. Um, and when we're really helping each other, helping our brothers and sisters, we went to an army base yesterday, and they showed us how they fly the drones. We've had so many amazing experiences in the past couple of weeks, and it's each one of them has made us all fall more in love with Israel. And you jokingly asked me when Aliyah is happening, and it feels imminent. So
Sam, we're ready. I've got the papers ready, ready to sign. And I love it how you always involve your family and particularly your children in your activism. How important is that for you?
it's not something that I gave too much thought to prior, because I had an Instagram account for so long and my kids were always a part of my content. And then when I made the shift to the full time advocacy and Hasbara, as they call it, um, it's just a part of the fabric of our family, is our obsession with being Jewish, and therein our obsession with Israel. But the real shift was after October 7th. My kids were traumatized, and I know that we were safe in our hotel in the bomb shelter, but they really lost a piece of their innocence. And the best thing that I knew how to do as a mom, because there was no manual on how to parent through this, the best thing I knew how to do was to help them see how they could feel like they were a part of the solution somehow. And while we're not fighting on the ground, we're fighting an information war. And we are fighting a war to show our love in a sea of hate and our truth in a sea of lies. And to be able to have my kids feel empowered, like they are part of making that difference, has been super helpful in processing the trauma they experienced. And I think it's also given them, it's shown them that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can step up to the plate and be a huge part of making a change for the better.
I love that. And so, how do you tailor your message to reach diverse audiences? You've got people who may initially be unsupportive of Israel who follow you. And what
Yeah.
kind of strategies have been effective to you in kind of shifting perspectives?
You know, I actually had a pretty big pivot with my mindset um, since this war started. Because initially, I've been doing this advocacy work since 2021. So it's been over 3 years now. But I made the decision that when I'm making my content, I'm focused on talking to my own people. And I know that that may be confusing for people who see my content, because a lot of it is educational or dispelling myths or breaking down breaking news from the Jewish Zionist perspective or the truth perspective. But really, my goal is to empower my own people when they are in one-on-one conversations with somebody who may not know all the information, who may have only heard things about Israel from the media or social media that don't paint the true picture of the reality. And I want my followers to feel confident that they can talk about these issues, that they can talk about this news. Um, and that, I really believe, is the way to really open minds and hearts, is in these one-on-one conversations that we have with our neighbors, with our peers, with our colleagues. And so that's what I'm thinking when I make my content. And I do think it's effective. Um, it's we're in very tense times right now. The ice is so thin, and I know that we're not all going to agree on how each other advocates, but I think that every single voice is important. And there are a lot of advocates out there who do things I would never do, but they are reaching people that I couldn't reach. So I think we all just have to really be ourselves unapologetically. Like for me, I come from the fashion world, so I'm posting, Israeli owned fashion brands, and I think that there's no wrong way to advocate right now. I think it's all about utilizing our own gifts and sphere of influence to make the largest splash we can.
And of course, this activism can be emotionally taxing, particularly, like now in a time of conflict. So how do you maintain your resilience, your mental health, while continuing to be such a strong voice for Israel and your people?
Such a great question. I haven't been very good at it. to be honest, Michael. Uh, I'm a very extreme person, so when I'm in, I'm all in, and it's been hard for me to compartmentalize. I feel lucky that I have my family on board with this. I always joke with my family. I'm like, "You're a Savetsky. This is the family business." So I don't very much have to separate my family life from this work. But I really don't know what I would do without Shabbat. I'm Shomer Shabbos. I have been. I became religious the year after college. I moved to Israel and went to seminary, and I've been observing Shabbos since I was 22. So it's been, over 16 years now. And that really saves me because if I didn't have that day off, I would never stop. So, but it's really hard. And I always tell everyone out there, not just people in my position that are in the public eye or have a platform that they're advocating with, but we all need a support system right now because it's really challenging emotionally, and we need to surround ourselves with people that lift us up and delete any sort of toxicity, um, protect our little bubble of safety. um,
Hmm.
so it's I've really kept it tight with my friends and family.
Important advice. And let me ask you for another piece of advice. There'll be many people who've been considering a visit to Israel, but are worried. So, what would you say to them, given the current situation about coming to Israel right now?
If you're thinking about coming to Israel, get on that plane, buy your ticket, and get here. It is exactly what I needed. There have been so many times where I've started to feel burnt out. Coming to Israel is that boost that I need to fire myself back up to keep going. There's no better feeling than being surrounded by your people, than being surrounded by the resilience and the spirit of this country. It is the most incredible feeling in the world. You will not regret it. Don't let the fear mongering get to you. It will change your entire perspective just being here, just sitting here. As I sit here looking out at the old city of Jerusalem while I'm talking to you.
Incredible. And as good as it is for Israelis that people visit, I think it's great for the people who visit too, and maybe even more so.
100%. Yeah,
Let
I
me
think I get more out of it than they do.
well, I don't know. We get a lot too. And so finally, you're releasing content daily. You've got much more to come from your trip in Israel, including some great films together with Stand With Us. Without giving anything away, what can people expect?
I had so many ideas. It's just amazing to have a partner like Stand With Us. You guys have been incredible before and during this insane time period, to be able to produce this educational content with your staff of experts and their passion and their dedication to this cause. It's unbelievable. I would not be able to produce the level of content without you guys. But we have some really cool stuff coming your way. I really wanted to do some Tel Aviv focused content because last time we did Jerusalem. And I have something else really exciting that I'm not even gonna go into it or try to ruin it, but I'm pinching myself. I can't believe you guys made this happen. It's not normal. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Like
I know
I
what
am
you're
going
talking
to be
about.
paying homage to one of my absolute heroes, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So thank you for the access.
Well, it was your idea, and really, we're so grateful for everything that you do and for your voice. So, thank you so much for being in Israel. Thank you for all that you do, Lizzy Savetsky.
Thank you so much. You're like my fairy godmother, my fairy godfather, Michael Dixon.
I'll
But I'm
take
like,
it. I'll take it.
I'm like, can we do this? Sure, Lizzie, no problem.
Just need the wings.
Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much,
much.
Lizzy.